What's up, bros? Me, the professor. And today we got Johnny. What's up, Johnny?
Johnny Poker, what's up, bro?
Johnny Poker, man. I want to talk to you guys tonight, and I figured, hey, why not a more appropriate person to talk about what we're about to yap about? But you got a lot of racket going on, man. Sounds like you're raking leaves or something.
Oh, goddamn dog, just Mexico.
I'm talking about you. What the fuck is that? I got dogs too, motherfuckers.
Oh, fuck them goddamn dogs.
All right, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about these people that disappeared. You're gonna have to hit that mute button, bro, so we don't listen to that. At least
Where's the mute button?
it's on the bottom on the left side. It says mic. Just touch that; it'll mute it. There we go. Because now we don't have to hear any of that. All right, so I'm gonna read this, and you could unmute yourself whenever you're ready. But we're gonna talk about the people that went on the Titanic sub, the ocean gate of all things. It's like a conspiracy in itself. All right, so okay, and that was, let's see, and this is occurred the other day. Let's talk about the five people that died in the Titan submersible. Okay, so it says that five died in the what the U.S. Coast Guard believes was a catastrophic implosion. Parts of the submersible were found Thursday, approximately 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic wreck. It had appeared on Sunday. So they're saying that a kilometer and a half away from where the Titanic sunk, the wreck is, they found pieces of the sub. Okay. Well, the men on board included Stockton Rush, that's the 61-year-old CEO of OceanGate, British Pakistani businessman Shahzad Dawood, 48, and his son Suleiman, which was only 19, and British businessman Hamish Harding, 58 years old. Okay, the fifth man aboard, Paul Henry Nargalot, was 77, an old former French Navy diver and renowned explorer. Okay, so we got an English explorer and two Pakistan businessmen. So okay, now there's no indication these people are billionaires, but that's what we're all told. We're all told these were billionaires. If they weren't billionaires before, they definitely are now. If they are in fact not at the bottom of the ocean. How you guys feel about that? Now let me ask you something, Johnny. You actually know Pakistani uh, influential people because there's two classes in Pakistan.
That
There's the
goddamn
lower
dog.
class. There's the lower class in Pakistan, and then there's the higher class, the upper class in Pakistan. There is no middle class in Pakistan at all. It's extreme poverty, and there's the very wealthy. Now, you know somebody that is in the obviously the higher class in Pakistan that now lives in the US. Now, because that person that you know knows so many people, what does he have to say about these billionaire businessmen?
He's
You
never
know
heard
what?
of him. I asked him about it. They said never heard of him. I said, well, it's a packy, and they were interested in the story. But I said, you know Dawood? And they said, no, I've never heard of him. And my stepfather owns hotels, and he's super rich. He's a self-made man from Pakistan. I said, well, he's supposedly the richest man in Pakistan. Do you know him? He goes, no, I never heard of him.
Okay, so elaborate a little bit more on this. Who are these people? What are they about? You don't know who they are, but you know people that would know who they are.
My people said they don't never even heard of him.
Okay, well,
And
who are these people
supposedly,
supposed to be? Who are they?
supposedly, 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 and that's why I was shocked because my guy from Pakistan is rich, super rich, and has like 12 cell phones, all linked to Pakistan. And you know, when they come and talk, it's Allah, bala, la, pala, la, pala. You know what I mean?
But as far as like the wealthiness goes, you have a stepfather that's in the upper 1% upper echelon of Pakistan. He's now living in the United States after he's made a fortune, and he doesn't
Oh
even know who these
yeah,
people are. But you're saying that, well, who are these two Pakistanis supposedly?
he don't know.
But you're saying that they might be family to the richest man in Pakistan.
That's what I read.
Now, doesn't it make sense? Well, it doesn't make any sense for anybody that is from Pakistan to make themselves disappear. That's really an American thing.
Well, you need to ask. You need to ask. Yeah, because my guy, my stepfather, act like he don't know. But you know what? He could be a crook too, and they could all be in on it.
Right?
Trust me, these motherfuckers stick together. You want me to call him right now?
No, John, we're on a live podcast. Let's talk about the topic. I don't care about anybody. Just talk to me about what you think happened in the thing that we're talking about, which is a
You want
submarine
to know
that
what I
vanished.
want? What I think happened
But
is,
this,
what I think happened is a rich guy was trying to show his ass, and he got imploded. That's what I think happened.
let's say, so this guy built a $3 million submarine to show his ass.
No, the guy who built the submarine thought it was gonna work.
Yeah, he'd been down a few times, so it's not like this is the first time. It's not a maiden voyage. It'd already been down. And the kid, who was the son of the Pakistani guy, had actually
Well, the
already.
kid didn't want to go. The kid didn't want to go. The kid told his aunt, I'm scared. I don't want to go. She goes, well, it's Father's Day and your dad, trust your dad. So the story goes, the kid didn't want to go. The story goes. And according to the report, they all died.
Well,
David, when I was in the army, we used to have these missiles that hit tanks, right? And I try to tell my mother this to give her a perspective. We used to have these, when I was in the artillery, we used to have these missiles that would hit a tank, and they don't blow the tank up. They go through the tank and they suck everything inside at a hole about that big. So everything inside the tank gets sucked at a hole that big.
so it's like tomato
Eh,
paste.
And that's what I think happened to these people.
You think they died?
I think they got turned into mush.
Interesting. So you got no conspiracy. You just think they just went down and died. Four of the wealthiest, four super wealthy people.
Well, I
And
don't know. I don't know if they owed money. I don't know if they had bank loans. I don't know if we have to look into that. You have to look in. Did they have bank loans?
why would a billionaire have bank loans? Billionaires usually get
All
funds.
billionaires, have bank loans
Exactly, they all do. So why would they try to run away from that?
Jared Kushner had bank clothes, and Saudi Arabia bailed his ass out.
Well, again, this is what my thoughts are. This is good. These are just theories that have been floating around right now. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the. Well, the one guy, the Pakistan man. Can I
Okay.
tell you about him? What I learned about him. He was really English. He was really
Okay.
like he was on Prince Charles or King Charles. Now he's King Charles. He was on King Charles's biggest charity. So he was head of the charity of England, right? And so I
Okay.
don't know. You know, it gets fucked up.
Okay. I'm gonna look up who the richest man in England is and the richest man in Pakistan.
Go
So
ahead,
the
look it up.
richest.
I gotta
Uh,
hook up my
okay.
headphones.
Now this is interesting that we talked about this. Okay, listen to this. Pakistan's richest man, Shahzada
These
Dawood,
goddamn dogs.
UK business.
Business.
Hit your
Hit your
mute button,
mute button,
please.
please.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hit your mute button so I can read this because it's a lot of noise. Okay. Pakistan's richest man, I'm reading this right from Google. Shahzada Dawood, UK businessman who helped India bring cheetahs on board missing Titanic sub. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Helped India bring cheetahs on board missing Titanic sub. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Cheetahs? Cheetahs like the fucking animal? What in the hell is that supposed to mean? Cheetahs. Okay, so let's see. Um, yeah, the richest man in Pakistan. Yeah, he apparently Pakistan's richest man. Who is it? All right, so it looks like he's worth $82 billion. Okay, now I'm getting a different.
Well, the guy wasn't that rich. He wasn't that rich. He was super rich, but he wasn't 80 billion rich.
No, doesn't look like it. I'm actually looking at the list of Pakistan's toppest earners, net worth wise. And it looks like the richest man in Pakistan is worth 12.9 billion. His name is Shahid Khan. Shahid Khan. And that was as of
Shere
2023.
Khan, Shere Khan.
And he apparently, I don't know what the hell he does, but he was not on the submarine. So if the guy was really the richest man in Pakistan, let's just say someone like Kobe Bryant or like Michael Jordan was on board, and the effort of going into looking for them. Now, you and I both know as military guys that the Navy and the Coast Guard have unbelievable systems for hearing sounds for many, many miles away, right? So that would mean that the military had a sensor that heard it implode or whatever, and then reported it several days later. They're still muted. So,
You know why did they report it later? Because we got to look at the same time that was the Hunter Biden shit that came out.
so it might have been like a distraction to keep everybody
False
from.
flags, and they
Well,
use these poor bastards. They use the ship imploded a week before we knew about it.
mm. So right upon descending it imploded apparently. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you about a couple of people that disappeared. Okay, now this might be as a surprise, come as a surprise to you, but in 1986, now you probably remember this. So 1986, okay? In 1986, let's see, how many people was it? All right, so 37 years ago today, no, in January, the NASA Challenger explosion. Now, if you remember that, you might have been in like, I don't know, kindergarten or whatever, but I was in the sixth grade. And I remember pushing a TV set into the classroom to show everybody that
It was like Punky Brewster days.
those are Punky Brewster days. That was the Smurfs, all that stuff. So I pushed the TV into the classroom. We turned it on and we watched as this plume of smoke went in all directions, and everybody's in shock that because this was a big deal. Uh, Krista McCall was a school teacher that was put on the space shuttle to go to space to be the first civilian sort of teacher to go into space. And we heard that day that the space shuttle exploded. It was like something like 18,000 degrees. No chance that anybody would have survived. And then we look at the footage now, and we could see that there's a pod, escape pod, that is falling from Earth, falling from the sky, and it lands and hits the ocean at 200 miles per hour. Did they survive? What do you think? Did they survive? You're on mute. So, if do you think they survived? Do you think they survived the shuttle explosion? Was that something that was already set up in advance? Because remember, we were told we can't go back to the moon because we don't have the technology for it. No one knows how to get us back there. 1960s rocket science compared to 2023 rocket science, and we sent shit to Mars already. I'm suspicious. So, not to sound like a nut, and like I said, I love these ideas that conspiracies exist and that these are, possibilities. Because I would like the possibilities for these billionaires to still be alive, to make their way to wherever the hell they're going, and to vanish like they planned. Now, some people might disappear for taxes. Some might people disappear out of embarrassment. I mean, come on, man. Andrew Jackson was Epstein. Look at Epstein and look at Andrew Jackson. They're the same guy. Come on. Epstein is Andrew Jackson. He's been around for a while. So he ain't dead. So Epstein's not dead. What do we make Saddam Hussein? He's definitely dead. They hung him. The Arabs don't fucking play this shit. How about somebody else who disappeared? Now, this is a little Florida history for you. Now, John's from Texas, and I got the Florida history for you. How about this? In the 90s, I was in the military, and I saw this. Oh my God, it's crazy. We had AFN, TV, and we had AFN News. And it said on AFN News that Chuck Mueller and his family decided to go on a day trip, like Gilligan's Island style, on their little yacht. And these are people that owned a corporation that owns restaurants, fancy restaurants like Houston's and places like that. Upper scale commercial type of places. And he vanished. He and his family went on a yacht. They were from Palm Beach. They own a restaurant at Palm Beach. So I see this news broadcast in Germany while I'm sitting at work.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And
Sorry, I gotta tell the neighbors shut that goddamn dog up.
well, put your mute on, and when you're ready to turn
Well,
it
I
off, you
want
can
to tell
just
the neighbors shut that goddamn dog up.
Ah, okay. So anyway, the Muellers disappeared, and they disappeared, and they vanished. What people don't realize is that there are two countries, actually three, that Europeans, when they want to disappear, they go to these three countries: Uruguay, Paraguay, and Argentina. Uruguay is more of a modern. It would be like Mexico City, much more to do, things like that. And let's see, Paraguay would be more like El Paso, nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? But there's no taxes there. So
That's everybody
Paraguay,
likes it.
see, Paraguay. And what people don't realize is that Paraguay is run by Germans. You go there, you're going to see Germans running the bakeries, Germans running the food stores. They invited me to come down and run the fire department. So there's a lot of Germans down there. And when a German or a European of wealth wants to disappear, guess where they go? They go to Paraguay. Unless they okay, so let's look at this differently. When you know the difference between the north of Mexico and the south of Mexico, right? Like the people look different in the north, they're taller,
They think
and
different.
the ones in the south are shorter, darker skin. So we have two
Well, it's
different
a different kind of Indian. You got the Aztec and the Olmecs.
yeah, so we got two different, totally different types of people. We got the tall ones and the light white European skins, and then they've got the darker ones that are to the south, like Oaxaca, Puebla, places like that. So you got the same country, two different demographics. And in many parts of Europe, I'll give you an example. My country, for example, has mountainous areas that are crazy, like super high, and then the rest of the north of the country is all farmland and it's flat. So you go to the north and you see people there, and you see that they're shorter, they're fatter, they have more white skin, and then you go to the south, and then you see darker skin, like more Greek looking olive skin. Can you hit the mute button on your
I
thingy?
know.
Yeah. So anyway, so now we have two different demographics, two different types of people, and they make up for like a huge percentage of the population. Okay. So North German is super tall guys, short, not so short, but the tallest are to the north because right on the border of Germany is Holland, which has the tallest people in the world that measure 7 feet and up. I mean, they're huge. And that's why the German people in the north are taller. The same thing goes for over here in Mexico. Anyway, so back to what we were talking about. People that go to Argentina are typically from the parts of Germany to the south, which would be like Bavaria, uh, Chiemsee, Berchtesgaden, places like that that are Alps, snowy, things like that. People from the north, Nordsee, are the tall basketball players, the European basketball players. So you could just imagine that there's such a great big difference. When people disappear from Europe, and I'm talking about voluntarily making themselves vanish. You got Germans. Germans are pretty honest. They typically don't have an axe to grind, but they do have a great and profound hatred for government in an almost anarchist level of despise and disdain for their government. And anytime you talk to a German, they're like, "Fuck the government! I don't like I don't like the German government. There's a bunch of liars," and it's true because the corruption is so secretive that if it is real, that it doesn't exist supposedly. So when Germans disappear, they go to Argentina. When it's northern Germans, they go to Paraguay. And if you go to
Okay.
Paraguay, you're going to see whole colonies of Germans, blonde hair, blue eyed, 7 foot tall motherfuckers walking around Paraguay, which you and I would find to be relaxing because we're at our age. Why do we want, nightlife or any shit like that? And then what are these people doing? These are Pakistani, wealthy Pakistanis, English people. Let's say we got a couple of British
In
people in this.
Uruguay.
Pardon me?
In Uruguay.
No, I'm talking about the people that were in the sub, John. The submarine. Okay, so those are people that wouldn't go necessarily to Paraguay, but just like Europeans disappear to Paraguay, Uruguay, and Argentina, British people that want to disappear, guess where they go?
India?
No. They go to Thailand, they go to Laos, they go to
Laos and
Vietnam,
Cambodia.
Cambodia, exactly, because
Far
they can
from,
go.
far, far from Cambodia was a good place to be, though.
Damn right, because you think about it, you got unlimited money. You can go there and get all the armed guards you want. No one will bother you. You can have plastic surgery to rearrange your face, and you can go there and vanish and disappear for fucking ever. Now, if these guys are billionaires, it means that these guys have planned this in advance. So if they were planning on an escape, they had a means and a ways to do it. How you do that? If you're a billionaire, how about this? I don't have much use for, let's say, $12 billion, for example. What is it to me if I can't spend that money for the rest of my life as a billionaire? What am I going to do? I'm going to give one big ass payment to the pilot of this submarine and tell him, look, I will give you $1 billion, a billion with a B, if you will take me and all my guys,
My son
all my
and my son.
and my son, and take us somewhere untraceable. Because remember, there's no tether on this submarine. They could easily put a winch and a tether on this damn submarine, like they do
That
most.
submarine could have went straight to England and dropped off.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to go to England. I think they're going to go somewhere very, very planned in advance, so that they can
Canary
fly.
Islands?
That that would be too far,
The
in my opinion.
Verdes? The
I, I
Verdes? The
I think
Verdes?
that's too far, man. Think about this sub. If they want to do it, they're going to get to a ship, and the ship's going to have a helicopter, and the helicopter is going to take them somewhere where they get to a private plane.
So they're
Fly
gonna
to air.
go from where they were. They're gonna go to oh, what's it called? Where like the triangle, the
Yeah,
Bermuda
Bermuda Triangle.
Triangle,
Yeah, they're in the Bermuda Triangle basically, and they go into another dimension and they live out their lives. But people don't know who they are.
and the family gets their life insurance money,
Definitely.
the
So
billion-dollar policy,
billions plus the net worth of that person is
and the
not
kid
necessarily.
and the son.
Yeah, and the son. So them billionaires, boy, they had life insurance policy on their
It's
kids.
a trust fund.
Yeah, totally. So, do you think that the space shuttle, when it blew up in 1986, that those astronauts could have survived 18,000 degrees of explosion and then falling from the sky and at 200 miles per hour and then hitting the ocean? Would they have survived that shit?
No.
No, wouldn't have survived. So that would mean that if they lived, they didn't even get on the space shuttle. So when they sent that space shuttle up, it wasn't even, they didn't have anybody on it. When they take the elevator to go up and they do that, they could do some hocus pocus bullshit and have a screen or something that they walk behind. It looks like they're going up. When they go off, they're actually just getting back on the elevator and going back down to the secret entrance. And then they get the fucking people out of there. They send the space shuttle up into the sky and it blows up. Anytime I see something like this, I always seem to gravitate towards
Well, what
not.
happened? Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you a question. What happened at the same time as this Titanic ship.
All right. So at the very, very same time that all the focus is on this Titanic uh, submarine disappearance,
Yeah.
at the exact same time, there's some political horseshit going on with the president's son in the U.S. Something about he didn't put on his gun license application that he was a drug addict because he would have been rejected. That right there is a federal offense. Um, Using drugs.
And tax evasion.
Well, tax evasion for his elite. They okay. Let's go back a little bit in time. Let's go back to Obama ages when President Biden was working for uh, Obama. Okay,
Vice
2008 it just
president.
happened.
Vice president.
Okay, so then Vice President Joe Biden, he was signing the crime bill. He was making sure that if we got caught with
Any crack.
crack cocaine, we went to jail for 5 years.
No questions asked.
No questions asked. Now, I want to tell you guys something. I'll tell you especially, is that one of my good friends, almost as good a friend as you are, John. Okay? But I lived with this guy's brothers in Puerto Rico when I was in the hospital for the 2 years I was in Puerto Rico.
And you smoke crack?
No, man. I've been sober 21 years. Don't fuck around.
I'm just
Anyway, the drugs that this guy's brother got caught with in California was $10 worth of crack. They put him in jail. They put him in jail for 12 fucking years.
That's nothing.
He was sentenced for 40 for $10 worth of crack.
Because of Joe Biden.
Because of the crime bill that Joe Biden signed. But he was also part of the 3-strike law. Remember that? Remember the 3 strikes, you're out shit?
You're out.
Uh-huh.
That's a felony. A super felony.
I want you to, you see, okay, since we're all like, years ahead of that shit now. All right.
Well, Hunter Biden's been on camera 3 times smoking crack.
Yeah, but I don't know no motherfuckers that pass out doing crack. I don't know about that shit. People sleeping with a crack pipe. I mean, how many crackheads you know that sleep, first of all?
No, okay, you over. It's called overamp. You overamp.
Yeah, well, I've never heard of a single motherfucker.
No, it's called you did too much. You overamp. It's like a radio charge, and you got too much juice. Yeah, it's called overamp. And you know what happened? No, I do, and it's an overamp, and it's a rookie move.
Well,
it's a rookie move. You overamp, which means you hit it too hard, and you got overwired. Your wires, you overamped. Mm-hmm. Hunter Biden was a fucking amateur.
Well, talk to me about. Let's talk about this for a moment. So,
he overamped.
Drugs, for example.
I know about drugs.
I know. That's why I want to talk. That's why I want to talk about this, because if you and I, civilian citizens now, were to do the same exact thing as Hunter Biden did during the submarine accident shit, what would they have done to normal, law-abiding citizens like ourselves?
I tell you, I'll give you an honest answer. When I was in El Paso, and I was at the DeSoto Hotel, and I was in the crack hotel, and I smoked it with some friends of mine, and I was downstairs and upstairs, and I'm gonna write a book about it called DeSoto Hotel. But I smoked crack, and it fucks you up, And if you were to get caught with any rock, like you get caught with any rock, it's straight to prison. It's state jail felony. Like you don't even get. You don't get 5 years. Like he got 5 years investigation. It's state jail felony. That means you go booking. You get a bond. You bond. You don't bond. which a lot of people can't afford a bond, and you're in jail. And then when you get time, it's six months to a year sentence minimum.
Okay, how about the gun charge?
Oh, the gun charge. Well. That's where it all books in together, because he should have been booked for crack. So he's already a felon, right? Even a state jail felony. Anything more than a year, anything more than 1 year penalty is a federal crime. Now you can have it in Texas. You're allowed to have a gun in your house, statewide,
Hmm.
in your house.
But for
Not in
felons?
no, in your house.
Okay.
Not in your car, not on the streets, in your home.
Hmm.
In Texas. A state law. And but the federal law says no. So federally, you're not allowed to possess any weapon. And if you go into a pawn shop as a felon or a drug addict,
Hmm.
it's a federal crime.
Okay. So how
But
much
in
time do you?
but in Texas,
Okay.
you're allowed a weapon in your home. You're allowed to protect your home. Now I don't know how, and that's the thing. It's like the California medical marijuana. It's federally illegal, but they allow it in California. Well,
So
that's
you
the
got.
same with guns in Texas.
So here you and I are. Okay. Uh,
Yeah.
okay. In a situation like this, go fill out an application. Now I am a sober alcoholic. Okay. Haven't had a drink in 21 years.
Okay.
And if I was to go into a pawn shop or whatever, wherever you buy guns, and I was to fill out that form and I write something that says that is it's and on that form it says that
Are you an addict?
if you lie on this form and they catch you, you can get something like 5 to 15 up to 15 years in prison and $250,000 fine.
Yeah,
For somebody like you and I, normal citizens that don't have surplus of cash just hanging around to hire Clinton lawyers and shit.
they put us under the jail.
They put us under the fucking jail, which is why I believe that one of the reasons why they did not go and publicize
Well,
why.
guess what happened? This happened in 2017.
Okay.
Hunter Biden was 2017. The election was 2020,
Hmm.
and they pushed it off because Trump called him out, and Trump called him out. I said, "Your son's a piece of shit." He goes, "No, my son, Beau Biden, is a hero." Well, let me tell you something about Beau Biden. I was in Baghdad when Beau Biden. I was in Baghdad when Beau Biden was there.
Okay.
You know what Beau Biden did?
No.
He was a jag. He was a jag
So he's
At Abu Ghraib. You know what a jag is?
yeah, Judge
Judge.
Advocate General. And so you guys don't know what we're talking about. These are military terms. JAG is Judge Advocacy General, and their job is to give out issue court
He's a
martials.
yeah, UMC. His job is to fuck us soldiers.
Yeah,
He's not a
so
friend of mine.
not at all.
He's not my friend as an enlisted one.
Okay,
He's here to fuck me, right?
yeah, yeah, that's their job. The JAG is basically their state attorney for the military. So anyway, their job is
they're not for us. They're against us. Soldiers.
yeah. If you, as long as you know, if you're
No,
comfortable.
they're not. Trust me, they're not on our side.
Yeah, I know that's Judge Advocate General. That's like the state attorney.
That's the guy who's gonna bust you for UCMJ, and he's the asshole. He's like CID, all right?
So you and I, as citizens, let's say for example, or military members were to get caught with the same shit that the president's son did, you and I would be you and I'd be sitting in Leavenworth right now.
Oh yeah. Well, Hunter Biden pissed hot as an officer, Navy officer, and he got put out of the Navy with honorable discharge, and he pissed hot for coke.
Wow. And
Hunter
you and I,
Biden, Hunter
you and I,
Biden pissed off. Hunter, let me tell you the real story. Hunter Biden was a lawyer, is a bullshit lawyer, but he's a lawyer. He had a law degree from Delaware, just like Jill Biden is a doctor. I'll kiss her. You can suck my dick if she's a doctor. So Joe Biden pulled all the strings he could for his kids and his wife, right? And Hunter Biden was Navy. I don't even know what Navy is. I'm not Navy, but he was a Navy JAG officer, and he was so stupid that he failed the first drug test and got put out. And instead of getting put out as dishonorable, he got put out under honorable
what do you mean under
circumstances.
other than honorable?
No, not OTH. Under honorable,
What?
not honorable discharge. Under honorable. It's a little cashmere they got for the rich
Well,
kids.
it must
And
be nice.
Bo Biden, the army guy, Bo Biden was in Baghdad and Bayab when I was at Bayab. It was the same time I was at Bayab. It's called Baghdad Air Force Base, Bayab.
Hmm.
And Bo Biden did?
What do you do?
He smoked cigars at Saddam Hussein's house. He hit golf balls off the fucking back porch. He fucking shit on the golden toilet. And you know what? He gave himself a golden star, or whatever it's called. What is called the honor of merit. And you know why he gave himself that award, the gold star? Because he was the guy who signed the paperwork. He was a LT, a second lieutenant, and he had the signature. It's like when I was an E3 and I got put at the E4. The colonel didn't do it. The company clerk did it because it was a lower grade. It was a low grade promotion. You understand? You understand?
Yep.
Well, Bo Biden was at the right grade. He was an LT. He might have been a captain. He might have been a lieutenant colonel. I don't know his daddy, but he was just right where he could write his own promotion, and he gave himself a silver star. And what does a JAG attorney do with a silver star? And that was the same time as Abu Ghraib, where everybody was fucking with the Afghans or the not Afghans, the Iraqis,
Hmm.
right? It was Taliban. Well, they were slapping them in the face, and we were torturing them. Yeah, we were doing them bad in the prison. And he came in and he gave himself a silver star. He wrote his own he wrote his own promotion.
So he wrote his own medal.
Yeah,
How the hell? Well, what's
a
the star?
silver star. Look at the record. Bo Biden was he was an 03, an 03 or no, he wasn't 04, he was an 03.
It
Because
was a
Bo
silver
Biden
star?
was Army. Bo Biden
What?
was Army. And
I don't know.
Bo Biden was JAG attorney in Abu Ghraib in Baghdad, the buyout, right? What did he do to deserve accommodation?
I don't know.
Well, you're a military attorney in Baghdad. So you busted Americans? That's how you gave yourself a weapon? That's how you gave yourself a Silver Star? Because you busted your fellow soldiers? You were like a turncoat motherfucker. You busted us, and that's how you made grave.
I guess so.
Well, that's the story. No, the story is that he was the one after Abu Ghraib and Kambuka. There was another place called Kambuka in the south of Iraq. It was like a party town. I was in both of them. Bo Biden didn't do shit. You know what Bo Biden did?
Besides being a jag.
Bo Biden showed up as a jag in Iraq. Okay. And he waited on a couple of assholes to get caught smoking marijuana in the Humvee, and he busted them. And he gave himself a Silver Star. He wrote his own ticket. And you know what happened to that sorry bastard? He died of brain cancer, and we're all glad he did. That's how I feel about Bo Biden.
Didn't he also get a dishonorable or other?
No, that was Bo Biden was good. Bo Biden died, but Bo Biden, as soon as he left Iraq, he got brain cancer and died. And Joe Biden said, Joe Biden said it's because of burn pits. And if you've been to Iraq,
yeah,
how many fucking 03 JAG officers were shoveling shit?
None of them. And none of them were using the latrines either. They had their own. They had their own that were actually box.
He was shitting in Osama bin Laden's golden toilet. He was on Osama bin Laden's golden toilet.
Yeah.
Smoking cigars, hitting golf balls. It's all bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
We did it. We shoveled this shit.
Yeah.
I was E3, E4. I was a specialist. Bo Biden was a JAG officer. A JAG officer. Imagine, a JAG officer, a lawyer in Baghdad. What do you think he did? Did he go out on missions? Did he go out on foot patrol? Was he QRT? Was he action team? When we got hit with bombs, did Bo Biden go out and hit people?
No.
Did Bo Biden go knock down doors and look for weapons?
No.
No, he was a JAG officer. He was a JAG officer. And I want everybody who's listening to this to know Bo Biden was a pussy. He was a rich boy. He was a rich boy there because his daddy was a senator. That's it. And he wrote his own medal. He gave himself a Silver Star. What did he do? What did the JAG officer do in buyout?
I don't know, but I got a commendation for heroism, and I did 2 tours in the fucking desert, and getting that commendation took almost a fucking year. Okay, and that was.
Well, did you write it yourself? Were you the one who signed off on it?
None of that shit. In fact, they surprised me with it. They're like, "Oh, the commander needs to talk to you." I'm like, "Wow, what the fuck's going on?"
Yeah.
I go to his office, and everybody's all there, and I'm like, "What's happening, everybody?" Salute. And
let me tell everybody who's listening, Bo Biden wrote his own accommodation. He was in buyout when I was in buyout. 2006, I was in buyout. Bo Biden was on the tail end of Abu Ghraib, and they tried to give him credit for cleaning it up. You'd already busted everybody who were fucking with all the insurgents, right? It was already over. Like, the party was over. And we were on foot patrol. We were on QRT. We were like out in Baghdad. Bo Biden wasn't. Bo Biden was smoking cigars, hitting golf balls, and shitting on a golden toilet. And you know what he gave himself? He gave
You said
himself
this.
a bronze star.
The Bronze Star. That's what I thought it was bronze. I was like, I'm not sure what the Silver Star is, but
No, he gave himself a bronze star.
do you have
He,
any idea what it takes to get a fucking Bronze Star?
yeah, I can tell you exactly what it takes. It takes being a fucking lieutenant colonel and being the commander. He gave himself.
He wasn't the commander. He was a young. He was a low
He was
echelon officer.
L2 minimum. He was L2 minimum.
Yeah, of course. I think
He
he
was
might have been.
O2, 03.
Yeah, he was a 02 or 03.
He wrote
Yeah.
himself. He wrote his own orders, and they just signed off.
What a charmed life, huh? Where were these positions at when we were out there busting our ass?
Well, you know what happened? You know what happened? Karma's a bitch because that motherfucker died.
Yeah.
Brain
Well,
cancer.
if,
How
let's
come we?
say
How come none of us soldiers got brain cancer?
some of us had. I don't know
Some
what the fuck
people
I
did.
got, but I'm not gonna apply for none of that new shit because I'm good. All right, I don't need it. I'm good. Yeah,
It ain't gonna make me no money.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Let's just talk about back to the topic, and that is that these people that we're referring to.
Bo Biden's a piece of shit.
Well, there's a two-tier system, and we're not in it. There's a good old boy
I'm
club.
an army veteran. I'm an army veteran. 2 tours Iraq, and Bo Biden's a piece of shit. And fuck his daddy.
Fuck them. So, do you think? I mean, I think that you believe that the sub imploded, but they never found it. Okay, so let's just say
No, you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. I don't know how much insurance policy. Now we need to look into what the insurance policy is. The guy who had made the sub was on it, right? The guy who the whole scheme, he was down there, and he's reported dead.
Okay.
Yes or no?
Yep.
And the billionaire Pakistani and his son.
Right.
And the French diver.
The French for
And they all paid $250,000 to be there.
Right.
And the U.S. Navy said the sub is gone. We can't find it. We found debris 180 meters off the bow. But we found no sub. Yes or no?
No, found no sub. But what kind of bothers me is knowing that the powerful sound systems that we have, sonar, and to be able to hear miles away. Like, let's just look at World War II subs fighting each other. They got headphones on. They're listening. They got the sonar going out. Bing.
Days in advance, we knew it was done.
Yeah, 10 miles away, we could have heard somebody banging if somebody was really banging.
Well, reportedly they did hear it.
Well, yeah, they heard it right after it happened, but they didn't.
Report it. Why not?
Maybe that was part of this whole thing to like delay the results, so that they would.
Well,
be
the
more
guy,
focused.
the Pakistan guy, was head of King Charles's I don't know, like charity organization.
Okay. And
The Pakistan guy was big government in England.
Okay, so he was big ass government in England. So
he was the head of like King Charles's bullshit like, what they call a slush fund.
Okay.
He was head of King Charles's the England slush fund.
I don't know. I don't know much. I don't know much about English politics, but
I don't either. I don't. You know what? I don't even care. If it wasn't for Andrew Tate, I wouldn't even give a fuck. English people wouldn't even have any voice in America. But let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. He was head of King Charles, now the new king. This guy waited 50 years to be king, right? Waiting on his own mother to die. And the old lady died. Now he's king. And shortly after, his top guy wants to go see the Titanic. Who in the hell wants to go see the Titanic? I mean, who?
maybe somebody wants to disappear.
Maybe somebody that needs to disappear.
Needs to.
Not wants to. Need to.
Just like the Mueller family vanished. Now, something to know about the Mueller family that vanished, and this is in the 90s, okay? I am stationed in Germany. I am sitting in the laboratory, and I'm looking on the wall. Not at the wall, because these are old school TVs.
Mueller, not Mueller. Mueller.
Mueller.
Mueller.
Right. It's Mueller, if you want to pronounce it. But this was a family that had tons of money, but tons of debt. There were a Palm Beach family that owned a restaurant chain. One was called Charlie's Crab. And Charlie's Crab was a restaurant in Palm
I'm
Beach.
Prussian. I'm Prussian.
Yes. So Charlie's Crab was on the beach, and it was expensive and all that stuff. So one day, the Muellers go out on a 3-hour tour, and they end up like fucking Gilligan's Island. So the theory is
that's what my mother and me when they said it's a 3-hour tour. It's like Gilligan's fucking Island.
Gilligan's fucking Island. All of it's been predicted. The fucking Simpsons predicted this shit, but they didn't.
A 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour.
The ships are grounded on the shore of this uncharted desert isle with Gilligan, the skipper,
and the skipper too.
The millionaire, and his wife.
A 3-hour tour.
The movie star, and the rest lie here on Gilligan's Isle. Dun, dun,
A fucking 3-hour tour. It was the whole ship was supposed to take 3 hours.
Yep, 3 hours. Okay, Gilligan's Island, 3-hour tour. The millionaire, the scientist, the captain. Hey,
and the skipper too.
And the skipper too. So here we go.
The movie star.
Fucking the movie star vanishes. The movie star vanishes.
And Gilligan. And the son is Gilligan.
The son is Gilligan. So now we have the whole Gilligan's Island theme in a submarine. The whole thing.
On a fucking Nintendo 1995 controller.
Trust me, man. Hey, look, if they could fake any kind of more shit that they've been faking, I'm gonna go back and talk about more of this.
It's almost ridiculous how super obvious this is.
Yeah, like every single thing that they have decided to do, because now we know everything. All these conspiracies were true. They turned out to be true. You know.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you something. Now we talk about Gilligan. The whole Titan ship, the boat went down. Nobody was on it.
Nobody. Now we saw them go in.
You know what? They're in Dubai. They're in Dubai.
Now the theory that, like we said before, is they had some reason to vanish.
Well, yeah.
A father and son billionaire team. The son is scared because he knows he has to disappear. He's 19 years old, for God's sake.
He don't want to lose his life.
He's gonna. You know what I mean? It's like,
No,
son,
but he thinks he's gonna have a good life and friends and party. And Dad said, "Trust me, I got you. You're
yeah,
gonna
dad's
be
like,
better."
what we're gonna do, here's what we're gonna do, son. Can you imagine that conversation you're having with your son? Son, well, here's the thing. I have this bazillion-dollar insurance policy for your mother and for our family. I no longer work for the King of England, and now we have the world about to end. So what I want to do is short all of my stocks in uh, corporations that are not doing so well right now, like Bud Light and Target, and I'll short those stocks so that we can fortune, and then we'll get on some way to make ourselves disappear. Obviously, a plane crash would be a bad idea, but if we got into the submarine and said we're going to go down to see the Titanic, then we could go down there, but not go down there. We could go down for a minute. John, you realize you're on a live podcast.
Yeah, I was
That's
spitting.
Yes, disgusting. So we're on a 3-hour tour, and we're going to make ourselves disappear, and our families will be financially secure for the rest of our time. We, on the other hand, are going to go to Uruguay and go live on a farm somewhere, or go to Dubai and
We're gonna raise goats. We're gonna raise goats for the next 50 years.
just blend in. You think about it. If they're English, they got to go where other English people are.
Well, they're
That
not
don't.
even English. They're Arab.
Mm, no, they're Pakistani.
Well, yeah, they can fit in anywhere.
So Pakistanis need to go where other Pakistanis are. Rich Pakistanis. Just like
California?
I said, this. Why would they go to the States? Why would they go to the States?
No, they
Because
will never come back.
they'd never come here because they'd never go there because the cameras would find them. Their facial recognition would be instantly. I mean, have you been to the States? Have you been in a while? Listen,
Not well.
they got cameras every 6 meters or something that have facial recognition. The police know who you are before you even step foot into the bank. I mean, it's serious. So if a guy wants to disappear like that, a guy on that level, he's gonna have to go somewhere
No,
where
he got to go to South America or Africa
yeah, somewhere where it's just
or
disappear. Because
Australia.
there was a couple of guys that were in Medellin when I was in Colombia that disappeared. One of them, his name was Jake the Snake, and the other guy, we'll call him William because I think that was his
You
name.
tried to
William.
disappear in Colombia and it didn't work out too well.
I didn't have to try, and it worked out well because I'm not dead. How
No,
about
but
that?
they came hunting for your ass.
Yes, they did, and I got away from them. And look at them now, sitting their asses in the fucking no-fly. The no-fly fucking can never fly as long as they live. How about that? Fuck with
But
me.
Colombia ain't the safest place to go.
It is. It is. You could actually go there and vanish. No one will fuck with you. But in my case, an Australian,
You tell me I can go to Bogota and disappear?
absolutely you can. I have one friend. He reminds me of you a lot. Army guy, red hair, actor, smart guy. Smoked a lot of weed though. But man, when he was
I smoke more weed than I know to do it.
well, now he's an actor in Bogota, like a movie actor, film actor. He might
He's
even be
making
producing.
money.
He's banking in Bogota, especially with the dollar. Plus, he's a veteran too, and he's been doing good. I know he's been there for at least 8 years now, 9 years, and absolutely every week I see this guy in another set somewhere, and he started off as an extra, okay, making like $5 an hour or some shit as an extra on movies. Now the
Yeah.
motherfucker's writing scripts. I hooked him up with a producer in Los Angeles, and I have yet to see anything uh, bad at come out of that guy because
What happened
my
to one guy? What happened to the half Canadian, half Australian? The guy that rode a motorcycle down to Bogota, and now he's got like a workspace. What was his name? He,
Michael.
he started doing like apartment, like he started doing Airbnbs on people's.
Airbnbs. Well, he was
Whoa,
okay. Back up a minute because we're gonna tell him who this guy is. Okay, Michael was a guy that moved to Colombia because I told him it would be a good idea after he got out of the military. He got out of the military. He moved to Medellin first, and that's where I met him was in Medellin. And then when he got on his feet, he moved to Bogota. I don't remember what he did exactly, but I know that he did not have his 100% yet. And so he was waiting on that. In the meantime, he didn't have any mental health whatsoever. So that's how I met him, is because most of what I spend most of my time doing is either therapy for myself or helping other people get therapy.
no, what was his name? He was half Canadian, half Australian,
Michael.
and he
Michael.
had a business. Blonde haired guy, tall.
Blonde.
He was like 6'2".
Mm-hmm. Oh! No, I can't remember his whole name, but
You know what I'm talking about.
yes.
And he went to Cali, and he was doing like renovations in Cali
Mm-hmm.
and Bogota. What was his name? He went to Mexico, or he went to Mexico on a motorbike, and went to Colombia on a motorbike to Panama.
He
What was
also was
his
in.
name?
He was also in Vietnam. He did the Ho Chi Minh Trail on a motorcycle
What was his name?
with his girlfriend. He had a girlfriend that he brought to Vietnam, and he did the entire Ho Chi Minh Trail on a motorcycle.
He was
At
a blonde
first,
hair guy, but he
at
was
first,
tall.
I was like, "This is dodgy. This got to be fake because no one rides a no." This motherfucker had a GoPro and did a time lapse of his entire uh, trail ride. He did a series on YouTube
Yeah, he had a
before
big series.
before he even went to South America.
And he
He had
was
set
doing like at a Bogota. He was at a Bogota doing like workspaces and
and Airbnbs. That's how he made his money because he was still waiting on. No, I remember now.
what was his
I rem,
name?
I'm trying to remember. I'll keep wanting to say it's Michael or it's Matt, something like that. It's M maybe.
He had a catchy name.
I don't remember. But if say for example,
It
moving to
was
Colombia.
he was like a year or two after you.
Yeah, yeah. So these are the places that people go to disappear. Bogota is one of them. Why? What's the population in Bogota?
I don't know.
It's
You
enough
tell
to
me.
disappear in. It's enough to disappear in.
Everybody tells me Colombia is dangerous.
It is. Of course it is. And if you do dumb shit and you go dumb places, you're going to get dumb experiences. If you don't go to those places, you're not going to get those. Now,
If
my
you
brother,
stay in like what's it called, like Zona T, you're all right.
I don't know.
You know
I
what's it
never,
called, Zona T,
no, I don't know what that means. But Colombia,
Zona 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 T.
no idea. But
You don't know
Colombia,
Zona T in Bogota?
no. I know Santa Fe, which is the shitty part, but I
No,
don't never.
Zona T is like where all the tourist zone is.
No, definitely no. I don't go to tourist places.
Well,
No
that's what you're
tourist
supposed to
areas
be
for
safe.
me. But I never lived in Bogota. I only went there
What
when I
was this
had to go.
guy's name?
But let's back to our point that people that are rich that want to disappear don't want to be looked for. Am I right?
I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be found.
You don't want to be looked for. I mean, we're not like
I
running
don't want
away
to be
from it.
found.
You know what I mean? We go down here to get be left the fuck alone. Did you get that letter in the mail saying that, hey, foreign address, foreign stuff, all this shit, and then mail it back to us? Did you get that in the mail? Could have come last week. And what they do
I,
is they want you to verify that you're not dead.
I
So,
did from Social Security.
and you got to mail it back to them.
I did from
Yeah.
Social Security
When did you get it?
2 days ago.
Okay, so 2 days ago, and you mailed it back to them already.
No, I'll mail when
Okay.
I go to Dallas.
Yeah, you got to mail it back to them because they'll suspend your shit. So any veterans that are out
No,
there
I
that
did.
are,
I did get that letter. I did get the
yeah,
letter. It's a bunch of no, 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 no. Like,
yeah,
have you
exactly.
moved? Have you
Um,
moved?
got
Has your
married,
kid?
yeah, all that shit. None of that shit. So I found out because you can't email it. You got to send it a physical letter in and put stamps and shit and mail it to
Well,
them.
I'm going to Dallas on Friday, so I said I'll mail from Dallas.
There you go. That's the way to go. I'll be there over the next day. Here, we're lucky we get anything mailed to us in a month. You know what I mean?
You know what? It was crazy because I walked outside to smoke a cigarette,
Yeah.
and the mailbox guy, the little guy, blam, 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 the motorcycle guy, pulls up on my porch and hands me this letter, Social Security Administration. And I was like, okay. And I opened it, and it's the same letter that you're talking about, right? And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I read it, and he goes, have you moved? Have your kid moved? Have you got married? Have you died?
Yeah. Two
No,
things on there.
no.
Two things on there that stand out to me, especially for you veterans and you expats that are living overseas. One, it's obligatory that you fill it out and mail it because if you
You
don't,
have
you don't
to.
get
If you
you don't
don't,
get
you're gonna get your check cut off.
cut off. Exactly. The second thing is that they're doing it to keep tabs on how many overseas
Veterans.
veterans we have overseas. Now it's like something like 1.3 million down here
Well, you know,
just in Mexico.
I got one daughter. I got one daughter in El Paso that gets 400, and I got a son in Mexico that gets 400, and I get 1,100 on just Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
And so I filled out just so they get their money.
Exactly, because if you don't, they're not going to get it. That's it. It's going to
They
get shut
won't get their
off.
money. My kids get fucked, and then if they get fucked, I got bitch ass ex wives.
Yeah.
You don't want to go. You don't
You
want to
don't.
have the. You don't want to play that game.
You know what? I have to disappear.
Well, you got an ex-wife that's happy with her $400 a month, right? And she gets 400 from Social Security and 400 from me, and then when her money gets cut short, she's gonna be pissed, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to deal with it.
So that is why any veterans that are out there, if you get that fucking letter in the mail, you better mail that shit back. And if you're overseas, send it to the embassy where you're closest to that has an office. You got to look up the address online to see what the actual address is and the name of the unit. Because it isn't just like,
And it's
so
always FBU, foreign
it's always
benefits FBU.
FBU. So like if you're in Colombia, if you're in wherever, that's got to be mailed to the office that's at the embassy. So if you're overseas, most overseas guys that, oh, this letter here says I got to send this back to Maryland. Fuck that. Send it
You
to,
don't gotta send it back to what with Maryland. Send it back to where they gave it to you from.
yeah, because most of us that are
I just
overseas,
happen to be going to Texas.
yep. So you're lucky.
I
Because
just want to get that clear.
expedite, it'll be expedited. Not here though. Nothing's expedited here.
Send it to the embassy.
All right. So back to this monstrosity of a theory that we have.
No, they'll cut your ass off.
John, let's talk about the topic. When people disappear in public like that,
Well,
no one is
sometimes I
looking.
kind of want to disappear.
Yeah, but you're not a rich billionaire on a fucking submarine that I'm talking about. If you're a rich billionaire on a submarine that vanishes, why the fuck isn't anybody looking for you?
You know why? You know why? Nobody's looking for him because he don't want him to. There is no way that he died. He just died. Boom, boom. He's dead. Bye.
Yeah. They have flown that sub many, 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 many times down that far. Okay. It's not the first time they
I
went to
what's his name? Cameron, the movie director, did it
James
33
Cameron.
times.
Yeah. So this is not something that is new. Not at all.
It
So
wasn't a
anybody
maiden.
who's
It wasn't a maiden voyage.
no, so it's not like something that hasn't been tested. No, don't get me wrong. Every single time they go down, it weakens the structure, sure. But they gotta have had inspections and shit like that. But who cares if they're not going down that far at all? They're not, they have no need to because they go down, they find that substation, they get in the fucking substation, they all get out of the sub, they get on a private helicopter, they fly to wherever the fuck they're going undetected and they vanish forever, just like the Muellers did, just like the fucking astronauts did on the Space Shuttle Challenger. They all disappeared for a reason.
Because Hunter Biden got busted.
Maybe. But boy, what a fucking stretch that would be. And if it was true, good lord. I mean, they
No,
really have gone. They'll really go to any lengths.
you know what the next move is?
What's that?
I hate to say it.
Don't say it if it's dangerous. Don't say if it's violent. I don't want to get kicked off.
I'm not gonna say it.
Use an analogy.
There's a guy, he's been fucking with the Matrix. He's been fucking with the. He's been really like pushing the envelope, right?
Okay.
And the envelope is pushing back. And maybe this was just a test case. If they can disappear, I can disappear.
But are you saying that somebody else more important might be disappearing?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh. Very interesting theory. There's been a lot of people in history that have disappeared. There have been a lot of people.
What was that guy? The actor, the director, when Sharon Tate got killed, right?
Yeah.
When
Manson.
who
Charles
wasn't
Manson.
at home? Who wasn't at home?
I don't know.
Well, somebody did get killed.
Huh?
So one guy was in fucking Sweden when the Manson people killed Sharon Tate, right?
Right.
The husband wasn't there.
Okay.
He was in Sweden.
Okay.
And he got caught fucking like 12-year-olds.
So you think they killed him for that reason?
I don't know. But he wasn't there.
Yeah. Well, Sharon's family was very, very, very influential. I don't remember what her father's name was, but he was an actor too. But that whole Manson family was completely programmed. I mean, we all know that now. It's common knowledge.
It was a CIA. It was a CIA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody
That's
knows
exactly what it was. Everybody knows that now. But now that we know that, those are the people that are disappearing. Because now.
And the husband disappeared. Roman Polanski. He's still in fucking Switzerland.
Think so?
No, he's still in Switzerland. He's still in Switzerland, and nobody can touch him.
Interesting you say that, because if somebody wanted to disappear, I've read a book on this. It's called How to Disappear Completely. And this is.
I know you tried. I know you tried. I read your. I'm not gonna go into it. Go ahead.
No. I'm an open book as far as that shit goes because it doesn't affect me anymore.
What was it? What was that drummer from Pantera? What was the drummer from Pantera?
It wasn't Daryl. It was Daryl's brother.
Dimebag Daryl. Dimebag.
That's the guitar. But anyway, let's not get into. I'll get off the subject. What I was trying to say is that there's a reason why people disappear, and there's a specific reason that they give information to one side so that it's publicized, and then there's the other side that's the real side. So if this is real, and what ended up happening was a cover up, then that's a pretty damn good cover because no one is even thinking about that. I mean, think about it. If Budweiser wanted to make their company lose value so that the stock would go down so they could short the price of the stock and they would make money off of it losing money, that's a that's a play. And they didn't know what they were doing. They were just like, hey, we want you guys to put trans people in Budweiser commercials. That would automatically trigger a public outrage, from whatever. Uh, but that's a ball that got rolling in order for this to happen. So those kind of people, like I said, that plan these kind of things, they're doing it for money. There's nothing more to this than money. Every single thing that's connected with any single fortune or tragedy has to do with money. And usually behind every fortune is a fraud, and behind every tragedy are two stories. I'm the professor, and I'm out.